You are listening to the Why I Love Disney podcast. In this episode, we give our top list of coming attractions in the world of Disney. We discuss new movies, rides, restaurants, and more. Let's go. You would expect some sort of a ride update too, you know, with this.
No, I mean, what will they do to the ride?
Well, you'll probably see elements like Pirates. You know, they did with Pirates where you see
the Rock out in the Jungle Cruise.
Hopefully. Welcome to the Why I Love Disney podcast. We are here for another exciting episode of Why I Love Disney. I'm Dustin.
I'm David.
And we are here today. Our main theme is going to be all the things we're excited about in the upcoming year, 2020, within the Disney umbrella of all things Disney, parks, movies, restaurants, games, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all on the table. So we're going to talk about a list of some of our favorite things that are coming here in the next year. David, but before we do that, how's your week? You doing good?
It's been great.
Doing well?
It's been great, yeah.
And you haven't went back to Disney World?
No, not back to Disney World. No,
not a week going on a weekly trip yet.
No, not yet. I look forward to going back again. I'm looking at the calendar trying to figure out when we can get back down there. But that was a busy trip, being there at Christmas and New Year's, and then starting the year. It took a few days to get adjusted and get back in the flow of things.
Still recovering then, I guess, from Disney World.
Maybe we can do a show sometime on how to recover from Disney, from a trip to Disney,
how to pay off those credit cards, and how to not go into a depression because you've got a second mortgage on your house. I'm joking. I'm joking. Well, maybe for some.
Yeah.
But no, I'm pumped about all the things we have to discuss.
Yeah, last time we talked about all the things that we enjoyed about 2019.
Yep, that's right.
So it's great this time to look ahead to this year and what's coming. And man, just tons of stuff.
Okay, but before we get there too, you're doing the Year of Disney also.
Yes.
And so how's progress going on that? You have decided that you are only going to you're like on a Disney fast.
Yeah, it's a Disney fast. It was kind of a challenge. In fact, somebody in my family kind of challenged me to do it too, and I said, I think I could do it. It's just there's been so many things Disney from the past that I've never seen, and there's always so much new stuff coming out. I just said I really want to spend some time focusing on all the things I've never seen before, and so I'm just going to do. It's kind of a year of Walt's Disney. I'm going to walk through all the things that Walt Disney actually created from. That I can find from earliest films to the shorts to the animated features and the live action features, especially the ones I haven't seen. But I'm going to try to kind of watch it overall and look through this nostalgic run of all these things he created, and I think it's going to be a fun trip.
That's awesome, and you're going to kind of write about it as you go.
Yeah.
And you already have a few posts up on the website, whyilovedisney.com.
Yeah.
whyilovedisney.com. It's super easy, just like the name of the podcast. Type it in. What have you watched this week?
So this week it was kind of starting. It took a little bit longer to get into it because of coming back from the trip. But watching the earliest things, the Newman Laughograms and the Laughograms.
The what? Say that again.
They call the Newman Laughograms.
Newman. Laughograms. Okay.
Things that Walt created for the Newman Theater in Kansas City. And the early Laughograms, the earliest things he did were some fairy tales of Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, Puss in Boots, and some things like that are very crude by today's standards, but they were just learning their medium. And you can find there's some copies out there, but so I watched some of those, and next we'll be starting all the next thing he did was these Alice comedies, and then the Oswald the Rabbit adventures. So I'm working my way through those, and then I'll start working through my way through all the earliest Mickey Mouse cartoons and on up into the features.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe do podcasts isolated, just kind of on some of the fascinating things you're seeing and learning and thoughts on those. It's
really
things.
Amazing to see again such a young age what he was doing and these guys that were working with him, the stuff that they're just dreaming out of the box and creating something that's never been really done before.
That's awesome. Well, as you move through the year, I'm also excited to see, how you respond physically to this fast. Like, are you going to lose weight? Like, how does this? I'm not sure what. Well,
I think my family actually watches a lot of Disney. Just the other night, we watched watched one of the Spider-Man movies all together. And
It's
then,
funny. That's Disney now. It's kind of like
we watched Spider-Man, and then we watched. I can't think what the other one was watched, but that's kind of what we migrate to as a family.
Yeah.
So
well, there's so much to choose from. It's safe. That's great.
So, but this is really kind of trying to just push myself to go back and watch all these things it's a lot of things that I saw a long time ago that I want to see again. And just there's a lot of those things, and I think if Walt Disney created it, I kind of want to go back and see it just to see like why did he do this? What was he digging for? And see what it's like.
That'll be cool. We're excited to find out more about that. Well, let's jump into our topic for the day.
Yeah.
Things we're most excited about coming in 2020 in the world of Disney. I'll let you kick it off, too. What are you most excited about? And this is hard to rank these things.
This is not ranking.
We're not ranking.
We're just
have a list, a general list we're going to pull from.
Maybe by the end of the conversation, we'll know which are three.
As we talk
things.
about it, we'll get more excited and tell you what we're most excited about.
I'm going to think kind of in order here of things that are as they're coming out. How about that?
Okay.
So the first thing I think that is supposed to happen is the Space 220 restaurant opening in Epcot.
Oh, that looks fantastic.
Yeah, I am really. That sounds like a great experience.
Yes.
I can't imagine what the crowds are going to be like. It's going to be so hard to get a place.
Well, it says opening early 2020.
Yeah.
It would be really. You were talking about. It would be really interesting if it was opened on February 20th on 220.
Yeah,
we don't know if that's going to happen. But
220 restaurant opening on 220.
That seems like
I know it's had several delays, and I know it's had some setbacks with some maybe just some staff changes and things like that, some different things. So
sure,
I don't know all the details behind that, but I know it's coming soon. Hopefully, it's at least coming
on my
this year.
list too. This restaurant, the food's great. It's actually a restaurant experience, which I appreciate as an adult. But also, I showed one of my kids, my 8-year-old, kind of some web stuff on it, and he says, "You mean you get to go to space and eat?"
Yeah,
and that's really I think the vibe. That's what they want to create, and man, families are gonna. I feel like this is going to be a really new kind of evolution and dining and something we haven't experienced before.
Right. And I'm really excited to see how they get you there, like how they get you from the park into this restaurant where you really feel like you're in space, like how they do that. It's going to be really fun.
I can't wait. That's fantastic. Well, what else? Anything on what else on your list are you super excited about?
Well, I know that opening also early this year is the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad.
Heard a lot about that.
Looks like, and I'm excited about the ride, and I'm really just excited that there's going to be something in that space again, because that's been a couple of years that's been empty, and hopefully that will add some more things in the park to do. Well, like when we were there just again a few weeks ago, the lines again, just with not just with Galaxy's Edge opening, just because of the times of the year, but it was so crowded. So every time they add something, I'm so excited because I'm hoping that it means that the line's going to go down somewhere else.
Well, and I think they're kind of on a roll. Hearing from you, we talked about Rise of Skywalker in the last episode, and I meant Rise of the Resistance ride, and they're just kind of knocking it out of the park with these new rides, right? And you got Smuggler's Run over there, you got the Ratatouille thing coming up. That all the hype is kind of there. It seems like the mojo's back on the rides, and there's new experiences, and so anytime they open something new now, I think expectations are really high, and I think it seems like they've kind of upped their game and kind of really investing in the parks and these attractions. And this seems like another one of those kind of cool, kind of
it looks different. Like it's all new. I mean, they've only shown a few pictures of. I've watched several of the vlogs and things that I watch. Have done some great stories on it, but they've still kind of. I mean, the ride vehicle and things like that, and some of the artwork you've seen, but they're holding a lot of it as a secret. So that's always a good thing. I'm excited what's coming.
Awesome. Well, I mentioned this just a second ago, so I'll go ahead and say this: the Ratatouille ride, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Could be this summer.
This summer supposed to open. That's the speculation. But all the stuff on that looks like an incredible experience, and probably in a similar, the trackless. I think it's a trackless system.
Yes.
A lot of interactions where they shrink you down to the size of a rat, and you're kind of like experiencing the ride that way. I think it's going to be fantastic. Now, this already exists in Europe,
Disneyland Paris. And I know it's been a huge hit out there, and so I think it's going to be a great addition. I know there's a lot of people that don't like the characters coming into Epcot. So, but I think it's a great fit and it's a great ride, and we need more. I mean, we were just there again. There's so many things that were in transition against so many of the things that were there, like Test Track. The lines were so crazy long the other day.
Right.
Everything you're just wanting. Please get some more attractions in here so that we have more things to do.
Well, it adds another thing to do at all the parks. It just sort of dilutes it out a little bit. I think it's a fantastic fit for Paris for how Epcot is set up. You go. That's a great. It's kind of culturally themed. It's a perfect fit for Epcot,
Right.
and I think it's a win. Makes Epcot a little bit more of a family place. And I guess that's some of the pushback too. Is people have always seen that maybe the park for adults.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. I'm excited to experience.
It's going to be
that.
amazing. The construction, everything going on back there looks amazing. When you're coming through on the Skyway, it's all going to be amazing. The Gusto sign went up. I've seen that online. That's looks awesome.
Well, the second we've talked a lot about Epcot. There's three things we said. Now the Space 220, the Ratatouille Adventure, and the next thing I'm going to say is also Epcot. It's the new fireworks spectacular, Harmonious.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We saw the Epcot Forever. It was nice. It was shorter than I thought it was going to be. It did have some, having grown up going to Epcot and some things, it had the nostalgia. But a lot of the stuff my kids didn't even get to see. It was gone before my kids were around. So it was good. I liked it, and there were some great effects. Some
Epcot Forever now.
In Epcot there's some great effects, and we enjoyed the kites and things that they have out on the water. But I'm looking forward to something new. And again, it looks like there's going to be some character IPs coming into this show, and I know a lot of people don't enjoy that, but I think they can use the characters to still keep the spirit of Epcot. At the same time, I think it's going to be really good.
And the technology they're talking about, you kind of using a little bit of everything from fireworks to lasers to lights
to projections
and water and kind of like what they're doing out in California Adventure. That thing, I can't imagine what this is going to be like. And so they've certainly hyped it. I think a little, or maybe the bloggers hype it.
I would hope with a show as successful as Illuminations that that you're not getting rid of that,
right?
Unless what's coming is so much bigger.
Sure.
I mean, I just can't imagine replacing it with something that's not that great.
Right.
So I hope it will be that. Again, like kind of like Rise of Resistance, where it's bringing in all these elements from incredible attractions and putting them in one. Maybe this is what this outside show is going to be like, bringing in all the best of different shows and putting it into one.
Yeah. I'm super excited about that. Well, what else you got on your list? I got it. We've been at Epcot
all right. So well, I'm also looking forward to coming in March. We've got a great new movie called Onward coming out.
Is this Pixar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Looking forward to this.
This is an original Pixar movie, right? This is not based on it's not a sequel. It's not a remake theme or anything like that. This is an original Pixar. What's the last original Pixar that wasn't a sequel?
You're just making me draw a blank. It was Coco. Was
it Coco, or was it the one? Was Coco after?
No, Coco was the last one because it was Toy Story 4 and Incredibles 2, and then Coco, and before that Cars 3 and Dory, and before that Dinosaur. So Dinosaur and Coco were the last two originals that weren't a sequel.
Gotcha. What was the one where you had all the girls' emotions?
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
But that was 2015.
Just Googled that. We can always Google something real fast if we need to.
Yeah, okay. you caught me off guard with that one.
Sorry.
I should have known that, though. I knew that Toy Story 4 was the last. I just couldn't think of what was
last
before.
Original. But I love these, man. Pixar never disappoints. I can't think of a Pixar movie that I've not enjoyed in some form. I have ranks of my favorites, of course.
Yeah, I have a few that are my less favorites, but I like
all worth watching.
Yeah,
right.
All worth
you got Onward. So what is this about? Tell us about Onward. Do you know anything about it?
Well, I haven't watched as much because I kind of want to be surprised with it coming so close.
I'm with you. I'm the same way.
I know the basic story again of the two brothers going in search of bringing their dad back from the dead. So, but
It's going to be
It
interesting.
looks really interesting. It looks kind of comedic, but then it kind of looks adventure. It's kind of it looks different.
Well,
I can't imagine what it's going to be like.
That one, and then of course there's 2 Pixar original movies coming out. The other one, Soul, comes out in the summer, and that looked to me like, I think that's probably, and maybe you could tell because I don't know if there's more how they do this, but coming out in the middle of July. Well, I think Jamie Foxx is sort of the lead. Is he in that one? No,
I don't know.
I think he
might be.
I better Google that real quick and. Soul.
You might be right. I see. Starts the voice of Jamie Foxx. You're right.
You made this weird. I was like, I think Jamie Foxx is doing the voice, and it's music based, right? It's about a jazz themed kind of music themed movie, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't.
It says Joe Gardner, a middle school music teacher, has long dreamed of performing jazz music on stage, and finally gets a chance after impressing other jazz musicians. And then we know something happens, and we'll have to see where the story goes from there. It was an interesting trailer because it kind of what happens, but it was really intriguing. I just think the whole concept of soul is pretty daring. It's kind of like with Inside Out. I thought what was so good about that. It's like, where do your feelings come from? Yeah, and that was so successful. So this is going to be fun. Like, what makes you you? What gives you your soul?
Yeah, and then to tie it with music too, I think is a very important part of where we're going. You can kind of see something coming there, And Jamie Foxx, I'm a huge fan of his. Everything he did, I mean, Academy Award winner, is in the new movie. Is it Just Mercy, which is I have not seen yet, but it's supposed to be fantastic. But Jamie Foxx is just such a great actor, personality, and it's Pixar and them together. I'm excited about. The soundtrack, the whole 9 yards, everything that's going to happen there. What else? So we're moving on. You got movies, a couple movies we're excited about. Some stuff.
Are you excited? Are you excited about Black Widow?
I am. It's not on my top of the list. I'm definitely going to see it. I love Marvel. I love the character. I think she's a very interesting backstory too. Yeah. I haven't been overwhelmed by the trailers yet. It's not to me I'll definitely see it probably opening weekend, but not something that's knocked me over can't miss. Does that make sense? Yeah,
I agree. But I am really interested. Because there were so many in the other films, there seems to be so much of this backstory that they hint at that you're like, what do they keep talking about?
That's true.
I'm glad that we're finally going to get some more of this story.
Yeah, and I'm less familiar with her story from the comic books. 'Cause I used to read comic books as a kid, but she was not one of the ones that I had a lot on. So I'm more open-minded to this. It doesn't bug me when they change stuff with her as much because I don't know. I'm not as familiar with that world. But I'm less excited about Black Widow, oddly enough, as a comic book guy, than I am about Mulan.
Okay.
And the reason is it just didn't speak to me, right? But I watched this trailer, and now I see some really cool aspects of this that I think they're being really creative with it. Unlike the Aladdin and the Lion King remakes, this doesn't feel like a remake. It feels like it's stand on its own, and this story gives the story a new life.
It's been interesting because all these new live action movies, you wonder every time one comes out, is this going to be a shot for shot, or is this going to be kind of like the original, but some things are changed, or is it going to be completely different than the original film?
It's probably a smart strategy to keep us guessing, because I think if you think it's going to be shot for shot, you might lose some interest for some people. Like Aladdin, there's twists, it's a little different. But I feel like this might be even more suited for this story, might even be more suited for this format. So that's why I'm actually more excited about it. With Aladdin, it was hard for me to imagine it live action, right? For Lion King, that's a different thing altogether. It's not really animation. It's sort of that in-between kind of shot for shot, just a new way to see it. This feels like this is kind of what the story was meant for all along. And I don't know, I could be wrong, and people may disagree with that and love the animation and the original, but and the musical aspect, which the cartoon had, right? And this one I don't think has those things. It's not a musical, is it?
Right. No, I think
as far
my
as I know.
understanding was it's not. But I think there's underscore music, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's.
No, I'm excited to
Breaking out
see
a
this
song.
play out. I really am. I think it could be.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Maybe, and this is probably one that you didn't have on your list. But another thing I'm looking forward to this spring is the movie Artemis Fowl.
Artemis Fowl.
Yeah, I read those books with
Yeah.
my kids, and actually, when I heard that the movie was coming out last year, we were really excited. I kind of went back and finished the ones that I had not heard, so I listened to the audibles
Yeah.
of all of those again, and I was really excited when the movie was supposed to come out. Then they pushed it back, so. It was a really good series, and so I'm excited to see what they do. I hope it's incredible, and because I'm sure they can't do all the books in one movie, so I hope that it'll be something they can expand on, because I think it would be a great
Could be a big new series, a new platform.
I hope it could be.
Yeah.
I hope it will be that good.
Well, Disney usually, it's usually excellent. And again, I haven't read the books, and my kids are just getting old enough to get into that.
He's a really smart, intelligent kid. He's very wealthy, and so he's able to do just a lot of cool things. It's just a great premise for a story, and he gets involved with fairies and this whole adventure with fairies and centaurs and all these characters that from other worlds. And so I'm looking forward to it, see what Disney can do with it.
All right. Since we're in the movies, and we didn't intend for it to go this way, but since we're in the movies, I'll throw Jungle Cruise out there too. I love The Rock. I love everything he's been in, just about. He does this incredible like the Jumanji stuff.
It does feel like he has a new movie out every month.
It does, doesn't it?
He must be the hardest working man in show business.
He's so good on screen.
Yeah.
And my kids love him. I think this is the whole kind of concept that you see in the trailers of this kind of charlatan jungle cruise operator, making deals with all to scare the tourists, and then something. Adventure ensues and some big mystery kind of harkens back to that Jumanji original Indiana Jones kind of adventure vibe for kids, and I love those sorts of things. And also, to bring, you would expect some sort of a ride update too, with this.
No, what will they do to the ride?
Well, you'll probably see elements like Pirates. They do with Pirates, where you see
The Rock out in the Jungle Cruise.
Hopefully, The Rock will be they'll only hire cast members who are like 6'4" and 280 and are completely ripped. I was
thinking that more like an animatronic
rock, giving you the people's the
out there waving from the bank of the Jungle Cruise as you float by.
But I bet it will bring more attention to the Jungle Cruise ride. If
it will be.
Else.
You wonder what it will. We'll have to see what they do with the story and how it fits in, and it looks like it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, typically when I hear stuff about like that, I don't get excited. But when I saw the trailer, I got really excited.
I was really the combination of him and Emily Blunt together looked like that's going to be really interesting.
I think it's going to be fantastic. So what else do you have? We got a lot of movies, and we could stay there if you want. But is there anything else on your list that either way? Anywhere.
Well, again, we've talked a lot about different things coming to the parks, and some of the things we won't see till 2021 in the park. So I think we kind of hit. There's a couple more movies on my list.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the Eternals.
Okay, that's Marvel.
I don't know a lot about.
Is that why you're excited about it? Because here's finally something that is a mystery.
Little bit of a mystery. I don't know the comic books, but I'm also just ready for something new.
Yeah.
If Avengers is changing, I'm ready for some new. I'm ready for the next phase.
I do. There's something about walking into a movie not having done any research on it, just going in cold, not having any expectations, and just kind of going with it. And I feel like with the Eternals, we could dig into that world and kind of go explore, but being less familiar with it, I'm actually kind of excited about it too. I hope the cast looks great.
It's sad to see the last phase end. So that's why I'm like, let's bring on something
Sure.
new. I don't want to wait 3 more years before something starts. I hope this will be the beginning of something really good.
Yeah, and so the Eternals. You said you have another movie on your list?
Well, no, I mean, I don't know a lot about the last movie that's coming out in the year. Is that Raya and the Last Dragon? Looks really interesting.
Okay.
But I don't know a lot about it. But I'm always anytime it's a new animated feature that's not a sequel, I'm usually pretty intrigued. I'm going to go see it just to see what they do.
But surely, okay, they're not going to make as much money this year as they did last year.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
I mean, you had like Toy Story 4. I mean, $6 billion movies.
Crazy.
I mean, I look at this list, and these are going to be fantastic. But do you see $6 billion movies sitting there?
Well, you don't know, because the first time Frozen came out, no one thought it was going to be a cultural phenomenon.
Those Pixar movies always have a way of like...
Yeah. I mean, and they've put the Raya and the Last Dragon in on Thanksgiving. It looks like it's the Thanksgiving weekend time. I've got down that it comes out on the 25th of November. So, I mean, that's a big season. So we'll see.
All right, we will see. Because we talked about Call of the Wild too, which is a classic.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see that until
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He's a great actor
Coming
too.
soon, yeah.
Well, I'll definitely see that too. I'll take the boys to that. I have one last thing on my list that
Okay.
I'm Disney Springs. They closed down the Cirque show, and they're opening a brand new one called Drawn to Life. My wife and I are huge Cirque du Soleil fans, and when we go to Las Vegas, we have seen almost all of them. I think we have seen all of them. I say almost because there's probably a new one we haven't seen. And so being Cirque du Soleil fans, to marry that with Disney, I never saw what was it called? La Nuba? At Disney Springs. I never got down there to see that one.
Okay.
So I'm disappointed that it's closed and I've missed it. But this next one is kind of themed around the story of a Disney animation,
right?
And an animator who comes to an animation that comes to life.
Yeah.
And you see kind of the journey. If you're familiar with how Cirque du Soleil works, how they weave a story so artfully through these incredible acrobatic displays and just human feats, and usually the production is just like otherworldly, and to see this come about, I'm super excited about that, starting up here in 2020, and hopefully we can get down there and see that here. And I think it's scheduled. I think scheduled to open on officially April 17th.
Oh, okay.
That's what I have. But I think a few weeks before there's going to be some openings too. So. Yeah. And that's one. It's one of the things. It's a non-ticketed. Well, it's ticketed. You got to buy a ticket for it, but your park tickets don't include that. It's in Disney Springs, which is a separate area altogether. So if you're in the Central Florida area, you could just go there and go check out the show and have dinner at Disney Springs. And I'm a big Disney Springs fan too. I think they've done great work with that. Kind of renovating that too. Yeah. So that'll be a nice little anchor there for Disney Springs.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've talked through a lot of things of these. Which 3 do you think you're most excited about?
My top 3 that I'm most excited about, I would say, Space 220. All right. I really do think that's going to be like a game changer. Like, I think my kids are going to be excited to stop and eat. Yeah. Does that make sense? You could convince them it's time to. Oh, we want to go right. Oh, we're going to. I think it's going to be special. I really do. I have high hopes for that. So I'd say that's number 1 on my list.
All right. Oh man,
you can use the same thing. It's not like I want to jump on there quick.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. I'm so excited about new attractions coming to the park. So maybe, and I'm a pretty big Ratatouille fan. So it might be the Ratatouille adventure coming to Epcot might be top of my list.
Awesome.
And 220 might be second on my list. I'm really excited about that. And of the movies, I'm really looking forward to all of them about the same, because I've invested time into the book series. I am really looking forward to Artemis Fowl, although I doubt it will be as big of a game changer as maybe one of the animated movies or the Pixar movies. So.
Sure. No, it makes sense. So if I was starting with 220, I'd probably go to the Cirque show next, Drawn to Life. And finally, Soul, the Pixar movie. I really think
really
that's gonna.
About that.
It has to me, it has every now and then they'll have one that gets Oscar buzz.
Yeah,
I think it just has that written on it.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks amazing.
So those are probably my top three. And we didn't mention the Avengers campus opens at Disneyland.
I don't know the dates on that, but I know that the
Late
Spider-Man
2020.
ride comes pretty quickly.
And that's
we were out at Disneyland in the fall, and the Stark walls are all around. You could see them building. You see the top of the buildings where they're working on.
what
the
a time to live, man. Or we're at this age. We have our families.
Yeah.
To imagine that you can go into these immersive worlds of all the coolest stuff. It's just incredible that we get to do this.
I do think it's a great time. If you're a Disney fan, this is a great time, and I love that's one of my favorite things about being the age I am now. Is I'm a dad of older teenagers, college students, and high school students, and I've lived long enough now that I have this great appreciation of the Disney that was before I was born, but then I've had all these years of the Disney of my life, of my childhood and my kids' childhood, and then there's still more good stuff coming.
Oh yeah.
So it's an amazing time to see all these new things coming, and man, fun stuff.
It's like it's interesting. We're in with Disney Plus, even in the world of streaming. And I'm talking about all from music to television to movies. Entertainment itself and attraction entertainment it feels like we're kind of like in a golden age of that. There's more content than you could possibly consume.
There is. I mean, it's crazy.
You have
even with
Apple's
Disney Plus.
making
I go,
shows.
how can you even watch everything? That's why when this year of Disney thing I'm doing, I decided to really focus on just this one chunk of history, because I mean all of even the content on Disney Plus is just.
Well, that's why I think in this kind of race to this content race, Disney just has such a head start. There's such a trusted brand already,
right,
that when they have something brand new out, a new name or a new character or something, you give it more. They have the mechanism to get it in front of you, and then you have more trust, and you'll give it more time to get to know it before you judge it. Whereas random Netflix show, you might happen onto it, you might not. It might be good, it might not, but you're not going to go out of your way. It's interesting to see how this is all playing out, and the parks are starting to pull on the success of these massive franchises, from Star Wars to Marvel, and to see how that's going to kind of work itself out in the future when we get more of those things.
Right.
I think the answer is probably yes. Why, if you can make more money and put more smiles on people's faces, why would you not do that? And the public seems to be demanding, more than demanding it with the lines and the attractions and revisits and things like that nature.
I know I'm having to write down here now to go back and look at my calendar and figure out when to get back to Disneyland again.
Yeah.
So now how to get there as soon as all these new things open up out there.
Well, it's going to be an interesting year and super fun, lots of new stuff. And I'm sure there's plenty of things that we didn't mention here, too, that there's things opening about every month of the year. But I think it's a good place to stop. But if there's something you're excited about, there's something that this is coming, maybe a new restaurant, maybe a new theme park, maybe some new video game, maybe something new with ESPN. I know they just, interestingly enough, had their first pay-per-view fight, MMA fight, McGregor versus Cowboy, on Disney, the ESPN Plus app.
Okay.
You could get it on there, which is a whole new kind of concept of how that works too. So that's moving in a direction. You got the NBA experience at Disney Springs. It's newer and just kind of opened up. That seems super fascinating too. So that's what we're excited about in 2020 in the world of Disney. We'd love to know what you were excited about. Maybe it's something we've talked about here. Maybe it's something we haven't talked about at all. There's love to hear from you. You can check out our website, whyilovedisney.com. You can contact us there through the contact form, and also take a look at David's blog where he's talking. His year of Disney is in full effect, and he'll be posting on the things the little nuggets he finds as he journeys through his Disney fast. Yeah. Thanks for listening to the Why I Love Disney podcast. You can connect with us at whyilovedisney.com. Shoot us a message. We'd love to hear your feedback. And if you're enjoying the podcast, please leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. We'll see you next time.